Hi there friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today we're making a Dollar Tree Valentine gnome. This guy's a big guy. If you'd like to make him, boop, stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here crafting with me. Now look at this guy. He has a bendy hat. He's between 16 and 18 inches tall, and he's made really easily with all these Dollar Tree things. By the way, we're going to be tearing apart a stuffed animal. We're going to be using a men's long white sock, rubber band, some blush, felt, and any kind of scarf or anything you can find at the Dollar Tree that's fabric for his hat. So I'm starting out with a men's white sock, the inside of a pillow from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using poly beads. You can use rocks from the Dollar Tree. They have great gravel pieces that you can use, or even salt if left in the package. And we're just going to fill up this entire sock. I know, it's gonna be neat, because here's the thing. We are going to create a cone out of this sock. This is a very meaty little guy, okay? So you're gonna need quite a bit of weight in the bottom. Use at least a cup of whatever it is, because we're going to make a tall, skinny fellow. Leave the top open and begin pinching the back of the fabric together in the sock, and you're basically going to be making a conical shape. That's all. So in the bottom of the cone, sort of the middle is where I started, and then I just gradually got smaller pieces, pulling and pulling. When I got to the top, I cut off a section. There you go. A nice little triangle to cut it off so I can roll that top. Now don't glue the very, very tip closed, because we want to put a wire or a chenille stem in there so that we can have a bendable hat. Okay, so here you can see I'm just twisting and gluing and getting it all secure in here, multiple layers, making sure it's all flat as can be. And then on that very tip, again, don't close it yet, because you can use Dollar Tree has a nice gauge wire. It's silver, black, or gold, or brass maybe. Anyway, you can use that. I was out of it, so I used chenille stems, which are also available at the Dollar Tree. So once you get it to this point, stand it up, roll it between your hands, make sure you like the shape it is. If not, just keep pulling and pulling, you know, tugging and twisting. This is how I made this hat bendable. Again, super easy with the chenille stem, but you can do anything. And then I glued that top shut. All right, so I usually roll it in between my hands to distribute the polyfill evenly. Okay, so the next part is my rubber band breaks right here, snappity-doo-dah, so I just tie it together. But I would always recommend you using string or twine or something else to secure that piece, just in case, so it doesn't go anywhere when the rubber band snaps. That's a hair tie, so I just put a little blush from the Dollar Tree on his nose. Next up, this poor teddy bear, I cut off the bear. Like you can see the entire, whatever the biggest, fuzziest portion is. This bear is from the Dollar Tree, and it's sort of like a curly fur. And so all I did is I got the biggest piece I could get, and that was off the back, and then just shaped it into sort of a U. So I could, you can see there, those little tuck up part of the nose. And so once I had that, I just glued that down with hot glue on either side. Again, I'm just making sure I like where everything is. Now for a mustache, if you wanted to make a mustache, I'm going to show you. You just take an arm, cut it in half after pulling out all the polyfill, and then sort of roll two little tubes, and it totally works. And they don't have to be perfect little squares or anything. You can see my, how would we call these, very uneven pieces, but it looks all the same once you roll it all up together. So you can see here, second side for the mustache, tucked right up and glued underneath the nose. Okay, so this is an infinity scarf from the Dollar Tree, and all I did was put the right sides, so the prettier sides together, and I cut off the bottom portion because I had to get two pieces. And then I made sure everything was flat and laid out, and then I'm just going to cut a very large triangle. So I was going to hem it, but I figured I'll just hem it in just a second. So, all right, so I'm just going to cut a very large triangle after I understand the height. I don't need a point at the top. So this is just Gnome Tips 101. You don't need a point at the top. It will come to a point with the glue. So we just open it, try and keep it as evenly there as possible, or you can pin it, because this is kind of one of those slick scarves, and just hot glue it all the way down the edge. We're going to give it a hot glue hem on the bottom in just a second. I'm going to fast forward through this so you don't have to watch me hot gluing all of this, but just do one side, then do the other. Easy peasy, right? Dollar store craft. All right, so now we're going to turn it inside out, and as you can see, it comes to a point where the hot glue has met at the tip. And then you can try it, test fit it on your gnome, and make sure you like where it is, because if it's a little too long or a little too scrunchy, you can just hem it a little bit more at the bottom. Conversely, you could use trim from a different stuffed animal or a ribbon or yarn or anything you find at the Dollar Tree. But here I am, I'm just going to hot glue hem this all the way around. Won't bore you. I'm going to stick it on my little gnomey, and then I'm going to make a rose because I didn't find anything I liked or it was too big. So I'm just cutting an oval out of red felt, and then I'm going to just cut a spiral. Once I get to the middle, I'm just going to start adding a spiral going out, and then adding on the hot glue a little bit on the bottom here and there. Cutting it off when I get the size I want, and there's my rose. So I'm going to glue that on and then cut 2 leaves. And so these are just a leaf shape and glued in the center, so it gives it a nice little bit of dimension. And cut 2 of those and glue those on right behind the rose. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I also tacked down the hat on top of the nose and on the sides and the back. Now this part is totally optional. You can make little feet. This is a fuzzy sock I had left over, and all I'm doing is creating 2 little rectangle shapes. I'm going to stuff some polyfill inside of the center and glue it shut. It looks like a pom-pom, so if you have some black pom-poms hanging around, red pom-poms, bunny feet pom-poms, it doesn't matter. Just cut them and glue them to the base of our little guy here. Repeat with the second one, and guess what? You're all done. This is it. Look! He's huge. He's got a bendy hat. He's all made from Dollar Tree stuff. I like him. What do you think, though? Let me know in the comments below. Check out these other videos. Thanks for watching.